Neymar has been the face of Brazil for over a decade. The goals,
Neymar! Oh! Goal!
the moments,
Neymar of Barcelona, of Brazil, gives Brazil their first ever Olympic gold medal.
the expectations.
3 seasons with ankle injuries and stuff is...
his record for Brazil is ridiculous.
Record for everybody.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, really, isn't it? I mean, he's an unbelievable footballer, isn't he?
It's just frustrating because
Why is he frustrating?
expect
Always a
him.
bit of a show, isn't there?
Everything has gone through him. It's always been about Brazil and Neymar, but for the first time in years, there's a real question being asked.
For one, as a football fan, I am praying that Neymar's there and that he touches the pitch at the World Cup, because this is what it's about. The greats of the game, the icons that you go, remember that moment. Neymar could produce one of those moments at a World Cup, I'm telling you.
Should Neymar even go to the next World Cup? Because injuries have slowed him down. New players have been stepping up.
He lost it here, dangerous, and for Brazil, it's the discount. Goal!
And under Carlo Ancelotti, Brazil might just be heading in a new direction.
Llegar a una boa condición física para estar e para ayudar equipo nacional a fazer as coisas bem, a intentar...
Everything is about to change because this might just be the most conflicting and emotional story in international football history. A star on a quest for one final mission against the manager who prefers logic over faith. It's about whether or not one of the greatest players of his generation still has a place in Brazil's future. To understand why this is even a conversation, you have to understand what Neymar has meant to Brazil. Ever since that World Cup on home turf in 2014, Neymar has been the face of Brazilian football. He's been the guy the country has pinned the weight of every major tournament on. He was that guy in 2018, that guy in 2022. In between, he's been the star Neymar Copa America editions in 2016 and 2021 for Brazil. Neymar had been the system, the star. Coaches have talked about him as the inspiration for his teammates in almost every edition. It wasn't just the name with Neymar, it's the fact that every time he puts on that Brazil kit, Neymar seemed to come alive. He'd already bagged 40 goals for the national team at just 22, 12 years later at 34, and he holds a record that puts him above the very greats in Brazilian football history. Not Pele, not Ronaldo Nazario, not Romario. It is Neymar Jr. who holds the record for the most goals for Brazil in international football history with 79. He's been the inspiration for the current generation, Vinicius Jr.
E a cobrança pelo Ney é normal, porque eu sou pouco suspeita para falar, porque o Ney é dos meus ídolos, onde eu acompanhei toda a sua carreira. É dos meus amigos também, onde eu desejo sempre o melhor para ele. Ele tá fazendo de tudo para ficar 100%, para nos ajudar, para...
Rafinha, João Pedro.
What's one World Cup legend you wish that you could play with, like on Brazil? Neymar.
Even the legends still talk about him. Romario.
Se tiver algum tipo de possibilidade, só se tiver o Neymar. E vou falar de novo que eu já falei. 70.
For years, Neymar wasn't just a part of Brazil. He was Brazil, but that version of Neymar might not just exist anymore. Football doesn't stand still. In this game, time is the greatest enemy. And as great as Neymar has been for Brazil over the years, the reality today looks very different because over the last few years, something has started to change. The injuries became more frequent. Since 2014 to date, Neymar has suffered over 10 major injuries just playing for the Brazilian national team alone, including an ACL tear on his last appearance for the Seleção against Uruguay in 2023. In total, for both club and country, he spent about 1,550 days out injured with 43 injuries, 280 plus games missed. The timeline is what makes it even more painful. 2014 was supposed to be his year. He'd helped carry that team from the group stages with goals in the opener against Croatia and a brace against Cameroon, but in the quarterfinals against Colombia, Neymar's World Cup dream on home turf was over. The back injury that left him just millimeters away from never walking again. He entered the 2018 edition not 100% fit, but Neymar still managed to provide some moments of inspiration. Bagged 4 goal contributions before they eventually got knocked out by Belgium in the quarterfinals. He entered the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, hoping again to carry the country on his back, only for him to get injured after the first group stage game, and didn't play again until the round of 16, where he bagged a goal and an assist for South Korea. They'd eventually lose to Croatia in the quarterfinals on penalties. It was a similar case with the Copa Americas too. In 2015, Neymar got a red card and a 4-match ban that effectively ruled him out of the rest of the competition for that year after deliberately kicking Colombia's Pablo Amero. He didn't play in the 2016 edition. He was included in the 2023-man squad for the 2019 Copa America, only to get injured in a warm-up match against Qatar and miss the remainder of the tournament. Brazil won the Copa America that year. He'd play in the 2021 edition, this time helping Brazil reach the final, but it was his friend and former Barcelona teammate Lionel Messi who came out victorious instead. He didn't play in the 2024 edition. It now means that coming into this summer, the World Cup is the last hope for Neymar, and that's the problem for Carlo Ancelotti. Say a prayer for Don Carlo, because in all his career, he's never had to deal with anything like this. The most lovable coach in the world faces a decision that's about to make him public enemy #1 in Brazil. But just before we get into what this is, hit the subscribe button to the Football Armageddon down below that if you click, will help the channel reach a wider audience with more videos like this. And turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks. Carlo Ancelotti was clear about it in that interview. He's not prepared to give in to any pressure from the Brazilian legends or the locals. He wants to build a team. His team, the one he feels has the best chance of winning. A team that's full of fit players physical enough to play back-to-back at the World Cup. To Ancelotti, it's now a question of whether Neymar can meet up. See guys, with Neymar, the problem has never been his talent. He's the all-time top scorer for Brazil. He made waves as a kid at Santos, Barcelona, and PSG. With Neymar, the biggest question has always been his availability.
Against him, it's towards this end. That 48 games missed is astonishing, but as of late, you can't be doing this. You can't be missing 17 games if you're going to get to the World Cup.
How long can he stay fit? Can he be there when his country needs him the most? Can he physically play back-to-back matches and perform at this level? At 34, the sad reality is that there's an answer most people know, but not everyone wants to admit it. And this is where things start to get complicated. This Brazilian team is evolving.
Not gonna help you. If he's gonna hinder you, if he's gonna be just another guy that is supposed to be a cheerleader, Carlo Ancelotti does not need that, because Neymar hasn't proven over the course of his career that he's just going to be a guy that's going to sit on the bench and be comfortable with that role. And if he is part of this team, people are going to demand that he plays, and he's going to demand that he plays. Neymar is only useful to Carlo Ancelotti if he's fit and ready to play, and he hasn't been that consistently so. And guess what? Last thing I'll say about Neymar. Even when he has been fit, he hasn't been consistently good. So we think of Neymar 10 years ago. That's not the Neymar of right now.
Ancelotti is building a new dynamic in the squad, the new generation. It's like we've become so accustomed to seeing Neymar and Brazil over the years that time has flown without anyone really realizing how much of it has gone by. Neymar is now 34. Suddenly, he's no longer that 22-year-old sensation with the hype from 12 years ago. Now he's an OG, one of the senior players. Ancelotti is trying to make this pretty clear. The torch is being passed now, handed out to the next generation. That's the likes of Vinicius Jr., Rafinha, Rodrigo. There's an even younger generation coming behind these guys. Players like Endrick, Ryan, Andre Santos. Suddenly you look at the team and it's easy to understand. These are players who carry a different type of energy. These are players whom Carlo Ancelotti simply believes can help the team end that 24-year wait to become champions of the world again.
Tenemos nosotros que trabajamos para el equipo nacional es lo que todos los brasileños quieren, de volver a ganar el mundial después de 24 años.
When you see it like this, it's Ancelotti's angle. It's not like he can't just take Neymar to the World Cup. The question is, if he does take Neymar to the World Cup, it's at the expense of his job, of a sport that theoretically could go to someone else who is physically in a better shape. Ancelotti believes in his new team. In this case, a new manager means a new identity. And maybe that's what Brazil needs, to leave what used to be the norm, to evolve. They haven't been champions since 2002. That Neymar era has reached the final bus stop. To add to this, the current stars in the team fit the major dynamic of performing for their club sides. We've seen Vinicius Jr. with Real Madrid so far this season. Big goals in big games in the Champions League and La Liga. The same with Rafinha and Barcelona. From a hat-trick in the league against Sevilla to a 4-goal contribution to help knock out Newcastle out of the Champions League. Matheus Cunha is playing his role in trying to help Manchester United qualify for Champions League football again. Joao Pedro is scoring goals with Chelsea, but in the Premier League as of recording this. Igor Thiago in the same competition is having a season to remember. 19 Premier League goals. Only Erling Haaland has scored more goals in the Premier League than him. Endrick, since moving on loan to Lyon, has rediscovered himself. Gabriel Martinelli is helping us now fight in 3 fronts for a possible treble. Switch the focus to Neymar and it's a different story. I mean, he has performed to some degree with Santos, but the performances have been few and far between. He did help the team dramatically escape relegation in the 2025 campaign, but the problem is that Neymar's fitness issues have not improved. At the start of the current season, he was injured. He's since returned, but this is a Neymar who at 34 doesn't look as fit as he used to. And so by the time we piece all of this together, there's a big question on the horizon. Should Neymar be on that Brazilian plane to North America for the World Cup this summer? To be fair, there's a possibility that he does add to that team. I mean, for starters, he's still very highly rated even with the current group. Most of them see him as a role model, an inspirational figure within the team. It's the same with legends and the brilliant supporters watching from afar off as well.
Brazil without Neymar, do you still think he can play?
Claro que sim, Neymar é jogador que fantástico, estando bem fisicamente, seguro que vai estar com os outros aí. É isso. és jogador diferente. Então, necessitamos muito também de Neymar.
Well, he said, of course, he still believes that Neymar can definitely play at this World Cup and has a part to play on this Brazilian team. He says he's a very special player and that Brazil, of course...
It's the Neymar effect, the superstar effect. Think about it like this. For every World Cup since the turn of this century, Brazil has always had superstars in every edition. The likes of R9, Ronaldinho, Kaká and Rivaldo in 2002. R9, Luis Adriano and Ronaldinho again in 2006. Kaká was the star in 2010. By 2014, Neymar had emerged. He became Neymar from 2010 to the last edition in 2022. The likes of Vinicius Jr. and Rafinha will be stars, but they are not at that Neymar level yet. Neymar walks into that Brazil team and undoubtedly becomes the star in that squad. But the other aspect that also helps Neymar is the idea that right now, this group under Carlo Ancelotti needs a player like Neymar and his qualities. And that's true, particularly after watching the game against France. Even with Vinicius Jr., Rafinha and Cunha, Brazil struggled for creativity. They looked lackluster. It was so bad that the most creative player on the pitch for Brazil was Casemiro. And this was by a mile. Just to back this up, there's an interesting stat that backs up the push for Neymar even further. Carlo Ancelotti has used 7 different forwards since he took over as head coach. Matheus Cunha, Igor Jesus, Richarlison, João Pedro, Vitor Roque, Caio Jorge, and Igor Thiago. They have a staggering total of 0 goals between them. Simply put, Brazil lacks forwards who can score. Amongst active players, Neymar's total of 79 goals for the national team is the highest by a distance. If Ancelotti wants to win the World Cup, he could do with a player who knows how to score goals. It's not just about the stats either. There's the emotional angle of what Neymar's presence on the team alone could do for Brazil. When Argentina won the World Cup, they did it with one clear intention: to win it for Messi. The support was collective. They played for him. Then Scaloni built a team that was strong enough to get the best out of Messi. Yes, in the circumstances and how both players are now, Messi and Neymar aren't necessarily the same. But in the context of what both players represent to their national teams, it's possible to see this Brazil team wanting to play for Neymar, just like Argentina did for Messi. But on the other side, the concerns are huge. Can Neymar stay fit? Is he fit? Can he become the player Brazil would need him to be? With the current game now, Ancelotti cannot afford to have any passengers in this team. Anything other than the semi-final would be a failure for Ancelotti and the Brazil project. As much as the country is in love with the idea of Neymar having one last shot at the World Cup, Carlo Ancelotti is saying things for what they are. Whatever happens, it'll be a huge summer for Neymar and Brazil. If he goes to the World Cup, he'll have one last shot. If he doesn't, then the dream is over.
Gabriel Martinelli, Igor Thiago, Luis Enrique, Matheus Cunha, Rafinha, Ryan, Vinicius Jr. Obrigado.
It'll mean that Neymar, the one who they believed was going to be the next Pele and then surpass him, never got to lift the trophy that defines heroes in Brazil. And so what do you guys think? Should Neymar be at the 2026 World Cup? Or is this the moment Carlo Ancelotti leads Brazil to choosing a different future? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to the Football Armageddon and check out the next video on Neymar's Brazilian teammate Vinicius Jr. and the racism problem he has with the game that might never be fixed.